Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is David, and tonight I am running a session of Leverage, the role-playing game. This is, in fact, the last session in this run. I won't go into a huge amount of detail on this, but it is a game using the Cortex engine, which is being relaunched as Cortex Prime, sort of as we speak, pretty much. The based on the TV series of the same name. The actual game itself is no longer available under that sort of imprint, as is often the case with these licensed products. But it's been good fun so far, and I think we should have a good final session. This game is being run as part of the Gauntlet, which is an online role-playing club. We get together, play games like this. We also have an podcast, a family of podcasts by various people who on some interesting role-playing related topics, which are well worth checking out. We have a monthly gaming zine called Codex, which has original games and add-ons for existing games. It's again well worth checking out. We also we as well as sort of our regular sort of monthly, weekly, however you want to phrase it, games that we run through the calendar, like this game. We also have we've been starting doing a number of sort of weekend gaming, sort of open gaming things for people sort of outside of our regular community, as it were, to come in and play some games with us. This coming up in October, we will be running our annual Gauntlet Con as a sort of extended version of this. I'm sure Jim will mention a bit about this as he's organising this for us this year. So thank you for that, Jim. Cool. So that's sort of what we're doing and who we are. I'm going to go through our players, ask them to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about the character they'll be playing this evening, and we'll pick up where we left off last time, as we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. We are unfortunately missing one of our players this evening. Unfortunately, Lowell won't be joining us, but these things happen, sadly. Yeah, with that said, Diana, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Diana Moon online. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me online on Twitter at Diana Moon or Sundays doing streams for I Need Diverse Games at twitch.tv/INDG. And I am also part of Magpie's curated play program as a GM. So if you like Urban Shadows or Masks, I do some fun GMing through that with Urban Shadows. We explore spooky San Francisco because I love my city and I love to make it weird. Not that it's not already weird. And I am playing Adoration Adora Ochoa. They are the hacker. They're also known as Wolf Chain, Wolf at Door, or Mr. Blakely if you piss them off. They're a former esports champion. They do all the kinds of fun like online hacks, and they do a little bit of cosplay, though they won't admit they're doing cosplay. They're just blending in, okay? Because no one's gonna notice a little Latina anywhere in America because we don't exist. And currently, she is probably in the worst mission she's been in because it's in bumfuck nowhere of the East Coast, where the only good thing about it is this maple candy she can't stop snacking on as she tries to keep a connection to at least play her phone games while she's waiting for instructions.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And yes, I was very, very tempted by that mask game you were running, but it was just too late at night for me, sadly, on a weeknight. But it sounded really cool. So yeah, brilliant, thank you very much. And Jim, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you're playing tonight.
Sure, I'm Jim Crocker. I use he, him pronouns. I used to sell games at conventions back when there were conventions. Maybe someday I might do that again. I don't know. We'll see if there are ever conventions again. But I run and play a whole lot of games on the Gauntlet. David and I have played together a bunch. One of the cool things about having my afternoons free here in the States is that I can play with my friends from the UK and Europe and stuff like that. And when it's their evening and it's my afternoon, so I'm enjoying that. As David mentioned, I am in charge of organizing the Gauntlet's open gaming events, and the one that happens in the fall is our annual Gauntlet Con that is coming up. That will be October 15th through 18th. We've got about, whatever, 8 or 9 weeks out. Pardon me, something like that. And if you're interested in being a game master, we have got openings for that. You can propose events to run for us. And, I'm going to be doing a whole lot more work putting all that together, letting people know about it. Gauntlet-rpg.com. Regular Gauntlet website. You can just click through to see what our event calendar is, and we've already got people starting to load up some events for that. So I think that's going to be a whole lot of fun. I am playing our hitter, our guy who punches people when they need punching, and flies the helicopters and drives the cars and pilots the boats and all that kind of stuff whenever we need to get somewhere. So that is Leonid Lenny Haduk. Also known as Lenny Kevlar, because he used to be a bodyguard and he has taken more than one bullet on behalf of clients, people that he was supposed to protect. He was formerly the Secret Service and the State Department, and we never have learned exactly what it was that made it so that he is no longer a part of any of those official organizations, and is now kind of doing the bodyguarding thing on behalf of his kind of group of plucky freelancers here. Lenny is on the best mission he's ever been on, because it is in bumfuck Vermont, up New Hampshire, and there's no internet for him to worry about. Here, it's cold. There are trees. There's he visited a woman he's been carrying a torch for many years on her maple farm. And Lenny is he's in his happy place right now. So we'll see how all of that rattles out once the thugs come to try and chop down my friend's maple trees.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And yes, that does remind me. I need to look into setting up some games for Gauntlet Con. Brilliant, thank you. And last but not least, Philip, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little about who you're playing tonight.
Sure, Philip Rogers, and I don't have nearly as much going on as everybody else. Apparently, I go by Snarkade on Twitter. I've got a game or a series of games coming out with Chaosium here pretty soon that John Wick was running. But other than that, I tend to just play. And today I am playing Sasha, who is a former Ukrainian strength acrobat, former Olympic hopeful, street thief, jack of all trades, done a lot of things. He tends to, when people need something got, he's the one that goes and gets it. And for the past week, he's basically been dangling by the strength of his fingers and toes in the roof of a building. So he's very excited that this game get underway.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Yes, so we will drop back in and see where we are up to. Oh, first, before that, I think my players still will be aware of this, but we're running with some safety tools as ever. We've got our lines and veils set up, which are in the Character Keeper tab. Do refresh your memory on those if you need to. There's obviously some lines of things we won't touch at all. Veils are things we can kind of feature, but we don't want to go into any detail on them. We'll have them happen off screen, whatever else. We also are using the X card, which is you can. If you need to use the X card to remove something from the scene that you're not happy with, whether that be because it's a subject matter that you don't want to deal with, uncomfortable subject matter, or just tonally you think it's a bit off, or it's a name that you don't like using, anything like that. Feel free to indicate that by either making sort of the X sign with your hands, by putting something in the chat at the side, or just by saying, I'd like to X card that. I might ask you to explain exactly what it is you're X carding, but I will never ask you to justify why you're doing it. If you've X carded it, that's it. We'll respect that. We'll do what needs to be done to get us back into a good place, and we'll move on. We'll also be using script change. This is a bit more nuanced tool than the X card. it allows us to do a couple of things to kind of modify how the game is being played. I won't go through all of the details now. We've discussed this before ourselves, and obviously the PDF is in our shared folder if you want to refer to it. But yeah, those are our safety tools. Obviously we'll also be playing under the open door policy. So if at any point you need to leave, whether that be just to take a quick break or for good, feel free to do so. If you can, let me know. Especially if you're not going to be coming back, that would be useful. But don't feel that you have to. If you need to leave, you need to leave, and that's fine. So yeah, with that said, we will pick up with where we left off last time. So our crew had been gone out to McLellan's Ford in New Hampshire, which was an old logging town. One of Lenny's people he used to work with, or more specifically, a friend of the. He had worked for a member of the family as a part of their protective detail. Had called him back out as they were having some trouble with the local owner of the sawmill. And sort of from the family that founded the town, John McLellan, who was they suspected was using using their influence at the bank to have people's loans decline so they couldn't carry on with their farms, buying up the land cheap and repurposing it as carbon banking territory, growing new trees on there just for the purpose of carbon offsets. On further investigation, they found some slightly suspicious activities going on, including a sort of newly installed and surprisingly high-powered internet cable for the town, and someone else who seems to be sneaking around in the McLellan's home where Sasha was in the process of breaking in. So yeah, I think that is where we will come back in on things. So yeah, Sasha, you were hanging from the ceiling, from the rafters of this old family home. There was a woman in her probably in her late 20s, early 30s maybe, dressed as a maid, but currently it seems doing a very similar job to Adora, and using some form of hacking device in a USB stick on this on McLellan's computer. So as we come back in and see you hovering in the from the ceiling above them, what are you going to do?
I basically had just sent kind of a message to the team as best I could, letting them know that I was not alone. I couldn't exactly go into detail because I was sending it with Morse code, and at this point I'm observing. I don't know if I can see what her what she's typing, or if it's just like a USB stick that's like doing it on their own, like a rubber duck or something. That's what Adora told me. That's one of her terms.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like at the moment this is mostly just the something on the stick itself that's chewing through the security. She's sort of poised over the computer, but isn't actively doing anything at the moment.
At this point, I'm just going to keep my eye on her, and if she looks up, I'm going to drop. So it's one of those where. So if she notices me, my first reaction is going to get to myself where I can have choices, whether I can move, jump, leap, grab her. Right now I pretty much have one thing, which is stay. But yeah, that's his thought. If she notices, he's going to drop, so he has options.
Sure thing. So I think what we will do is I will have you make an agility thief roll, if you will, to set the difficulty to see if she notices you.
Can I use my aerialist ability on this?
Yes, that sounds fair.
Let's see. That's one I haven't used yet. Let's see. Which is good. So I got an 8.
Sure thing, and I will roll. She also gets an 8, which is equal to, so does not beat your roll, so she does not notice. I think we probably get one of those moments where she like is, this has been going on for like a 20, 30 seconds or so. She's sort of starting to just kind of like glance around the room. She looks like she's going to look up, but then there's a beep from the computer.
I thought it was a skylight when she kind of look up and kind of look right down right before she got to me.
Yeah. There's a beep from the computer. She looks, and it's obviously it's got through the password screen, and she very quickly starts. I think she actually is looking at stuff on the computer. You sort of see her just clicking through a few things. She skims through email. She skims through a few other folders, and you find and she's clearly starts setting some stuff to download to the USB. There is primarily the things she's looking at. You can sort of see it, though you don't necessarily get a detailed view of it. But what she is downloading from here is clearly financial records of some variety. You can see lots of numbers and that sort of thing.
If she looks like she's going to turn around and go out the window, I'm going to go ahead and grab her. If it looks like she's slowly going out the front door, like she's using the maid thing, then I want to try to drop to the floor quietly and follow her.
Yep, sure thing. I think it will be the latter. Once she's finished doing what she's doing, she will slip the USB drive back into sort of a pocket. She'll get up, turn the computer off, and get her sort of cleaning supplies and head back out the door again. I think I don't think I'm going to make you roll to follow her out of there. She is being quite alert, but she is clearly like looking for other people walking around the house in the way that you would expect people who lived in the house or worked in the house or whatever to do, rather than looking for someone trailing her, sort of thing.
If she goes outside, does she look like she's going to a vehicle that she's brought, or does it look like she's looking to meet somebody, perhaps walking a mass transit?
There is a car outside that is clearly clearly hers, or that she's clearly going towards. It's like it's a kind of small, unassuming runaround sort of car. What you will spot, though, looking at it, it's got that kind of look of a rental car to it, rather than it's got that very it's very clean. There's no bumper stickers on it. There's not a
it's got a little barcode in the window so that they can scan it.
Yeah. Georgia plates.
Yeah.
What I will do is I will trail her, and when she goes to get in the car, I'm going to get in the passenger seat.
I think as you sort of go, as you sort of get into the passenger seat, she she says, "Who are you? What are you doing? I've got mace."
You didn't vacuum the second bedroom.
I did, sir. I can assure you.
No, you didn't.
Well, my time's up. I've got to get moving. So if you get out of the car, and I'll come back next time and make sure that room's clean.
Okay, I'll do that. Actually, can you give me a lift? I actually need to pick up some maple syrup, and I think you're probably heading that way.
I'm sorry. I don't think that would be the best idea. I think I'd like you to step out of the car now, please.
From one crook to another, no.
I can assure you, I am not a crook, sir. And if you are, maybe we do need to have a talk.
Well, I'm going to look to see, does she have a bulge in her jacket?
She certainly does, yep.
And I go,
Or actually, probably not in her jacket. No, you actually notice there's probably in under the cuff of her trousers, you can see where like her where she's sort of got her foot up to obviously go on the accelerator. You can see there's it looks like she's got an ankle holster on.
I'm going to go, why did you threaten me with mace when you've got an ankle holster, officer?
Agent. But
Agent. Don't worry, just drive. We'll have a conversation. I'm not going to hurt you. You're not going to hurt me. Let's just go and talk.
Very well. You seem like you have something to say. So, but she'll say, "But I've got a better idea," and she's going to get out. You drive.
Okay, I'll do that. And I go out, and I am looking to see if she's making any gestures to look to call anybody, or does she look like she's on her own?
Yeah, she doesn't. You can't see. She's certainly not making any obvious signs. She doesn't seem to be calling anyone in that you can tell. She's certainly. I mean, obviously, if she has a similar sort of setup to you, then anyone listening in will have heard. But she doesn't seem to be making any overt like calls for you to be brought in.
Just a reminder, you guys still hear what I'm saying. So, agent, breakfast?
Sure.
I know a place that has really good maple syrup, and everybody seems like they at least leave you alone enough to order seconds. I start to drive towards our restaurant.
Sure thing.
I think when this conversation's all happening, once he mentioned or once we heard agent, I think I would have been trying to like hack and see like, okay, if there are any official missions going on with any of the agencies, or to see if she's doing this under the
Sure thing.
So I can give some more information. So we have a little bit more information ahead of time.
Yeah. So what you will in fact, yeah, I'll have you. I'm going to roll set this one up. Okay, so if you'd like to make a roll you think is appropriate, that's a difficulty of a 12 you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's just hacker and intelligence. I
Yeah,
don't think I can
that sounds
add
that sounds
anything.
fair.
Yeah. Uh, oh no.
No, indeed. And I will give you a plot point to take that complication.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think actually what will happen is you'll start kind of doing a look around the area, and you know the sort of things to look for. You know the kind of that you know the way that the agents in the field tend to do stuff, and the way that they use credit cards and all these sorts of things. And you're actually able to track down some information. There is you get kind of the there was a rental car sort of rented a couple of days ago, and this motel room over here. But as you are as you're kind of like looking into these things, you will there'll be kind of that you'll sort of be kind of like looking at these like transactions that have taken place and sort of the room bookings and stuff. But as you start looking at them, they start to just like all the information disappears from them. And you think someone has realized that you're starting to pick up on this, and it sort of has been like red flagged.
Ah, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I hate to like admit it, I'll like say over the comms is like, someone's having better luck with me with this internet because I can't get shit on this lady. I'm about to shut down temporarily and like quickly just like I switch from like this laptop and like I put it away and everything and I like pull out from my bag like a simple like iPad and like some like student books and everything and just like set up like, oh no, wasn't doing any hacking. What are you talking about? I'm just a student here stuck with my uncle.
Yeah, sure thing.
I hear that, and I think my first reaction is need to go a little bit of old school and just ask. I go, so agent, that's awfully impersonal. I'm Sasha. What can I call you?
You can call me Agent Blake. Fiona Blake, but I guess we're past the point of formalities.
I didn't think anybody had the guts to go against people like this anymore. Thank you. So I take it you're on your own. You've probably got somebody that's really upset that you're working this case, and you're probably well out above everybody else, right?
Yeah, it's I'm not exactly we don't exactly have a warrant, put it that way.
Told you, crook. And I keep driving the car, and I smile at her, and meaning it lightheartedly, and keep driving. I go, "Are you from here?"
No. I'm well, here in the general sense. I'm from over Massachusetts way, but
because usually it seems people care about this guy because they know people that are from here or are from here. So I figure, you have to have some sort of connection.
Just following the money.
Well, people like this seem to certainly generate a lot of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're pretty close, and I can't imagine it's a very long drive.
No.
So I said, all right, here we go. Let's and I kind of look at her. I go, I hope they have a table for us. And I look inside, and there's probably plenty of room at this point. It's probably not peak breakfast time. It's second breakfast time.
Exactly. Yep. They'll take you to a booth. The waitress will look at you slightly quizzically, but
And I'll just look at her and I go, second breakfast, and then kind of gesture and go, everything is good here, or at least has been so far. And I kind of wait to see who comes and joins us.
Sure. And I think with that, we'll cut back over to Lenny. And I think this is we will as you're sort of heading back to your truck. I think another you'll be just getting towards it as another truck starts to pull up. It's and to be honest, probably not too dissimilar to the one that you're driving. It's quite nice, quite big. But the as it pulls up, there are this is the it's like you said, like the one you've got. It's one of those ones where it's got kind of it has got like a double cabin sort of thing, and it seems to be full of men, which isn't necessarily to say that there are lots of men, but that they certainly fill the cabin of the truck.
Yeah, maybe it may be more like a forerunner, or like a like something with more like an SUV or something like that. But yeah, what are we talking, like half a dozen guys or something like that?
Yeah. It's probably about 4 or 5 guys, but big guys sort of thing.
Yeah,
They are definitely putting the suspension to its test.
Yeah, well, this is and I am opening I'm opening the door to my truck, and I reach in and I pop the earbud back in, and I say, "Hey, everybody, sorry, I just wanted to, I was off channel for a second because I, wanted some privacy up here, but it looks like there might be trouble on the farm. So let me just, I'm just going to see what's going on here." And I shut the door. And just kind of, just sort of mosey over, just walk over to where they pulled in and presumably are starting to get out of the truck.
Yeah, indeed, they are. They're all getting out of the truck. They're like I said, they're all quite big men, particularly sort of the guys leading. He's tall, he's bulky, probably of similar proportions to Lenny. They all they all certainly seem to be in the lumber industry, or are for whatever reason carrying axe handles.
flannel shirts and stuff. Yeah, sure, okay.
as they start to
They're just shooting a commercial for the new line of brownie products. That's all.
Yeah,
yeah
exactly.
and yeah, as they sort of getting out, the lead guy is going to approach you, Lenny, and as the others kind of follow on behind, and he says, "So you're in town, I take it."
Actually, I'm not. I've been here before. I am friends. And this is me with names a week since I've used any of them. I'm a family friend of the Edgars.
Yeah, I heard that. Also heard you're fed. Isn't that right?
Well, I used to be. I'm a former Secret Service agent, and I did some work for the State Department as a bodyguard. And I'm more freelance now. But yes, I used to be a federal agent. Is that germane to our situation here?
We don't want people getting the wrong idea, you know. You coming.
Well, what's the right idea?
Maybe it's best you get back in your truck and drive out of town. We don't need you poking around in here and putting ideas in people's heads.
I am not here to put put any ideas in anyone's head. Clive called me. In fact, if anything, I would say right now you're putting some ideas into my head.
Look, what's the kid told you?
I may, in fact, be getting the wrong impression right now.
What did the kid tell you?
I'm about what? I'm not sure.
You said...
I'm not sure I understand. You haven't actually introduced yourself, so I'm not sure I understand in what way my conversations with my friend are literally any business of yours at all. You also, if you're familiar with the way the Secret Service operates, the first half of that name there is secret, right? And it's something that we take very seriously. I mean, even, ex-agents.
Sasha snickers while having a conversation with Fiona and then passes the book.
My name's Vic O'Rourke. I'm a foreman over at the sawmill.
It's Tuesday, isn't it a work day?
I'm not on this shift. We've heard that Clive has been spreading rumors around town about stuff, and now we hear him reaching out to a ex-Fed.
Clive, I understand that you are trying to do the subtlety thing and stuff like this. Trust me when I say I've spent a lot of time talking to people and being threatened by people who are much, much better at it than you are. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving town. My friends aren't leaving town. So if this is the part where you beat me up because I'm not going to leave town, I'd appreciate it if we could just get to it, because my friends are waiting for me and I really don't want to miss dinner.
He sort of chuckles and says, "Okay, yeah, let's make it easy. Though I hope you like soup, because you'll be needing something you can eat through a straw."
You also hear over the comm, "Oh, there'll be dinner. There won't be any dessert left because I'm going to eat it all if you don't get here."
Yeah, and I think the the obvious henchmen are going to pull. So they've got sort of like the axe handles over their shoulders, and they're going to sort of start to move out to surround you. As I think Vic is just going to he just
he's the foreman. Yeah,
yeah.
he's the supervisor, so he's gonna supervise. I get it.
Yeah, well, it's more he's going to sort of ball up his fists rather than go for a weapon, in a sort of sportsman-like fashion. But yeah, so I think that they are probably initiating things here, or well, I suppose I should say, are you going to kind of wait for them to come at you, or are you going to take the first swing?
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of take a couple of steps back to where I'm kind of back against the porch, so they can kind of get around me in a semicircle but not completely surround me.
Yeah,
so as they're coming at me, I'm sort of stepping back, and and whenever the first one takes a step in, I'm just going to reach to my right and grab one of the, the like tin mapling buckets that is there, that are like stacked up on the porch. And if I can spend a plot point to have that as an improvised weapon.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So because everything is a weapon for me, I can use anything that isn't bolted down, and some things that are as weapons. When I'm engaged in a fight action and I've spent a plot point to gain an improvised weapon asset, I can step up the asset rating by 1.
Awesome.
I grab my bucket, and then and then I'm gonna let them this is I grab the bucket literally as someone is stepping into. If it's that first guy throwing a punch, then that's when I grab it, and then I let them come at me.
Yeah, sure thing.
Tangle themselves up as they will.
Sure thing. Perfect. So I will sap that dice. Well, so there's going to be a lot of dice in this roll, though not necessarily very big ones. So that that is a total of 3 opportunities there. But that is a grand total of 10.
Okay, so if there's 3 opportunities, because I'm a badass, when I'm outnumbered, when I'm engaged in a fight action, I'm outnumbered and the fixer gives me an opportunity, I can remove 1 of the dice that you gain from outnumbering me for each opportunity you roll, it looks like.
Nice. So yeah, that's that will be describe that. So you will even before you get to your roll, you will take out 3 of these goons. So if you would like to describe how that looks.
Yeah, and I think that is, the first one comes in with an axe handle, and he takes a swing, and I just kind of hold the bucket up like this, and he wells the bucket in that way that he hurts his hands because he wasn't expecting to hit something hard that didn't give. And then and while he's going like this, I step forward, spin the bucket, wang it down over his head, snatch the axe handle out of his hand, bam, ring his bell with the bucket, and then, do that thing where someone comes at me from the side and I kind of, samurai style, block it with that axe handle, whack, just, knock that guy in the head. The other guy that comes in at me, he's coming in like this, and I just get in and kind of arm block under his elbows so that he can't actually swing down. And then just like with the other hand, just take that axe handle and just bam, just like, you know, like pop his kneecap off to the side of his leg, and he goes down howling. And that's like 3 of them down like that. And, you know, and I've got and just, you know, flavor wise, it's still whatever, you know, D8 asset I have, but now I've got that axe handle that I took from one of them.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, if you would like to now put together your role.
Sure. Do we have our Dice with Friends link somewhere?
Oh yes, sorry. I will link that into the chat.
It's on top of the reference tab too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I was wondering where it was. Oh, there it is. It's that one.
It's a little hidden. It's
Yeah. All right. So, what do I got? This sure seems like strength.
It does indeed.
And I'm going to use hitter, which makes sense.
Cool.
And what do I get for
You've got your asset in there.
Is that a D? It would
normally D8, wasn't it? I think
start at a D6 and then I ramp it up to D8, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool.
And then I think that's it. I don't think any of my specialties or distinctions apply right now. So I can roll that. And there is, that is also a 10.
So that won't in and of itself beat this. That means that essentially they will get the upper hand in this fight. But if you want to spend a plot point, you can add a 3rd dice to your total.
Nope, I'm out of plot points. I only had the 1.
No worries. Yeah. So I think
if he uses the pun and calls them saps, does he get any?
Lenny's not that clever.
Technically, can I use do I have that thing that I gave you to give them the extra? Does that give them an extra die, I think? Let me double check. An extra D8. If I remind Lenny, like, hey, I think it would be probably another stun thing, but like more stun gunny than like the last gadget was. That like he could have had like in his back pocket or something. Like I gave it to him and I didn't tell him what it was, so I was like, I've had this in my back pocket all this time.
Or it's like it's something on my key ring. It's like a key fob looking thing. Yeah.
So I think like it looks. Let me look at you. The Copa Kid sounds like a very baseball-y term. Does Lenny like baseball? Or what's his sport of choice?
Soccer.
So it looks like a little like gold like medallion of a soccer ball.
Sure.
And I'm like, I don't know how those punching sounds. I don't think you're winning, Len, but you just throw the soccer ball at him.
All right. And so boom, 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 they're coming at me. Maybe I get pummeled a couple times and I'm like, ugh, and then I, like stick it into the chest of one of the guys coming at me, and let's see if that actually does the trick. So
helps.
so what I'm doing is just rolling an additional 8-sider, and I can. It's like an extra die to the roll.
Yeah.
So basically, I want to roll 5 or higher, and then I can use it instead of one of the.
That's right. Yeah.
Out of that 4. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got. Nope.
But that does get you a plot point.
That I can't use on this roll, but that I can use later. So yeah.
Maybe all the like it's cold. That's right. We're in a cold ass I didn't account for it, so it's like it's frozen.
Well, or it's like I hit him with it, but he's got like
layers.
Like a like a thermal t-shirt a work shirt, a flannel, and then Carhartt overalls over that. And so it's like, you know, yeah.
It
Like-
just
like
ticks. He like just goes, that tickles.
Stuff designed to stop saw blades and whatever, but
Yeah.
but it does not work. All right. So hit
Yeah.
me. What
So
happens?
so yeah, I think especially with that that complication coming up, I think that you you said you've taken a few hits, and it's not so much that you go down, but the guy, you've sort of got the you're fighting off the other guy with the axe handle, but you see the foreman kind of, as you were like sparring with him, he kind of ducked away a bit, and as you look up, he's got Clive by one arm, and he says, well, you certainly know how to handle yourself, mister, but I'm not sure your little friend here is quite so tough. How about you get in the car and we'll go and have a nice little chat? And he kind of gives Clive's arm a little twist, and this kid gets to go back to drilling trees till we take the farm from him. Yeah.
And tunk.
Cool. And I think that's where we'll take our first break. So come back at about 5 minutes, about 22, and we'll pick things up again. Cool. See you all shortly. Yeah. So welcome back. So I think we'll cut back from that back to our interview at the diner. I just wanted to check in. Adora, are you planning to join in this conversation?
Yeah, I think like because you sat at a different booth, right? Yeah, so I think Adora's just got a little too into listening to Lenny's fight, and was just like, oof, and it's like just like, yeah, not my thing. Finally, and then was like, and then comes over with like the iPad this time. It looks like a regular iPad. Obviously, it's not. And just slides in, and if there's any like food already set, like, or drinks, like Adora quickly grabs like the coffee or whatever and starts pouring maple syrup into it.
God. This is Fiona. Fiona, this is, I don't know, what's your name today, little girl? Basically, I'm trying not to give away your alias if you don't want to.
Right. I'm just Cat.
This is Cat.
Have you tried the maple syrup here? I'm like, you can put it practically on anything, and you can see that Adora's a little jittery.
Yeah, it's just New Hampshire. Come for the no sales tax, stay for the diabetes.
Yeah, they should look at putting that in their state motto. So I don't know if I want to know what you're doing here, but I guess, what are you doing here?
Probably exactly the same thing you are, just and about as legally right now.
Sure. So
what did you find? This is and I point over at Kat and I say, Kat is very good at poking through data. I know that you were taking a look at it at the scene. and she can, well, she's really good at it if you want a second set of eyes.
Sure. Look, we know McLellan's been moving money, a lot of money around. We don't think he's exactly broken any laws as we can see yet, but the money that's moving around it seems off, and this guy is linked to a she'll say we're not talking about, throwing money away on his second Porsche or anything like that. We're talking fundraisers, campaign contributions.
And can't get him on a simple RICO charge?
As I say, as yet we don't have we don't have evidence that he's doing anything criminal, and we can't get RICO without criminal conspiracy.
I tap on the table. I said, what you don't have is evidence that isn't fruit from the poisonous tree. So you have evidence. You just don't have evidence you can use.
This is she sort of taps the USB. This is think of this as more of a fishing expedition.
I hate fishing. And I take like the USB and plug it into the iPad because of course it has a USB port for it. And yeah, I want to try to use a program algorithm to see if we can catch something they haven't.
And I look at Fiona and I go, we might not always do everything that's legal, but we try to do what's right.
Sure. I will put together this the role for the
I only if it's like if it's relevant to like what we're trying to find out. I would like to add a specialty of spoofing, and not in the sense that I'm spoofing, but to see if I can recognize any spoofing going on.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds fair. So for his role, that's a total of 11.
Okay. That is 11 also.
Again, if you want to spend the plot point to bring in that extra D6, you can do so. That will put you out on top in this.
Yeah, I will. I got 3 points. So
sure thing.
One.
Sure thing.
Oh yeah, that does it.
Sure. So yeah, you will look through these financials. These actually, these are his. This all looks to be his personal finances more so, obviously including like money from the company, but it's not company details basically. And yeah, this kind of I think I sort of mentioned this before, but this is kind of the definitive proof. There is a lot of money coming into his personal accounts, but it's going out pretty much as quickly as it goes in. It's in fact not even as quickly as it goes in. He is like on paper, he is very overextended.
He's basically hemorrhaging money.
Yeah, he is juggling a lot of balls in the air, and he is sort of moving money between different accounts, paying off loans with a loan from somewhere else. So, certainly that's what it all seems to be on paper.
So, like an American in their 20s. Got it.
But on like a significant scale, these are big numbers being thrown around. This is and as I said, the thing with it is that the money, a lot of the money is going into it's going into unproductive things. It's going into, it's like I said, campaign finance contributions, fundraisers, not stuff that he's going to then, or well, there's probably words we said about that, but not stuff that's going to see an immediate financial return from that. It's not like he's kind of investing in something that's going to give him an outcome. This is pure outlay. It's like I said, from the looks of it and from the money that sort of is coming in, this looks unsustainable.
Where he's funding it, like to the campaigns, does it seem like it's like random campaigns, or is it like specified? And then like the loans that he's like paying back, were they like gambling loans, or were they like business loans, or?
Yeah, so a lot of this is moving through the bank, the local bank. And this does also include as well things like loans from his company, and bits and pieces like that. It's the thing, what this definitely looks like, is just aside from the flow of money, this looks, it's one of these things where this is either somebody who is incredibly bad at managing money, or somebody who is incredibly good at managing money doing something, doing something shady, basically.
Okay, I think, yeah. So I relay that to everyone, and like, either he's under duress and money laundering for someone else specifically, or he's playing an extremely long and risky con with getting this money way down the line back.
Yeah, we suspect there's money's been moving through this town strangely. That's what I say. For a small local bank, there's been a lot of money coming in from out of town, not hanging around very long.
It's not staying with the locals. When I look around, seeing like how the restaurant is, like, not shabby, but like obviously, like it could, like if there was money flowing through the towns, it would probably, like, they would have had some upgrades by this point. I'll call back on. I'll like. I want to do a text to voice to Lenny, so you hear like a very robotic one. It's like, "Are you dead yet?" Like, just to see.
Yeah, so they won't have taken your earbud. It's not the sort of thing they think.
Oh no! I just don't want them to know we have someone out in the field. Like, I don't.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't trust this lady. So yeah, like, so I have it programmed so that the earbuds can like receive text to voice.
Okay. What have you programmed the voice to sound like that annoys me?
Let's see here. I think. Oh wait, I didn't scroll back up properly. There we go.
Since Lenny likes soccer, but hates West Ham, every time a message comes in, it starts with "I'm forever blowing bubbles," and then the message comes in. It's
crazy. Yeah, as a player, I don't know enough about like soccer themes and stuff like that. But sure, yeah, some kind of lead in, like whatever, the first few bars of the fight song of a team I hate, and then it kicks in. Yeah. Yeah, and I kind of grit my teeth. And where am I as the camera comes back in on me here? I'm curious.
Yeah, so you have been brought into one of the buildings on the in the lumber mill. It's actually it's like, I mean, it's quite a big complex, this place, but this is a paper mill. Part of it, you can sort of see in there. You're just in kind of a you've not been brought far into the place, but you've been sort of deposited in essentially a one of the a sort of tool room essentially in this paper mill. You've been sort of tied to a chair. And the guy is pacing about in front of you. It's one thing that does strike you immediately as being a bit odd, is that this place seems quite quiet. It's
for a sawmill.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, certainly, obviously, as you were like coming through, there's a lot of noise going on outside, but this particular building you're in seems quite quiet.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a process, like from tree to sheet of copy paper. That is just loud all the way through that entire process.
Exactly.
There's
no, exactly.
Like from the second somebody walks up to a tree to when they're putting on the shelf at a Staples, it's just loud all the way through that. So,
exactly.
Yeah, and so and I say, and I hear that message, and I kind of like grip my teeth and roll my eyes a little bit, and I say to him, "Well, I'm not dead, so why am I here?" I mean, for you to shut down the whole paper mill just for me seems pretty extreme.
Look, we just want to know what you know, and then we'll send you on your way.
Okay, so where do you want to start?
What did Clive tell you? What have you been poking your nose into since you've been here?
And so as I'm answering his questions, I am, flexing, like twisting, getting the ropes loose enough that I can, if I need to get a hand out of one, I can.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, actually, yeah, that seems fair. We'll call it just a 2d6 for the chat. So I'm going to ask, I think this is probably going to be an agility thief, or possibly strength thief, if you think that's more appropriate.
I feel like strength thief, yeah, because I'm just, like I said, this is not trying to wiggle out of it. This is just, flex, twist, flex, twist, trying to get it to where all I needed is for it to be loose enough that I can yank hard and get out of it. I'm not trying to I'm not dislocating my shoulder or doing any of that
cool
hanky stuff that Alex does. So
yeah, sure thing. So that is a 9 altogether.
Oh man, that's a good roll. So I've got a D. I've got a D8 for thief, and I've got a D10 for strength. But that's a 15.
Yeah. So are you actually wanting to sort of pop out of this now, or just to kind of have it ready to go when?
Oh no, I'm going to let that be a surprise.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you managed to get the sort of the you manage to loosen the bindings enough. You possibly even like pop one of the slats out of the chair a bit, so it's that's probably not a slatted chair, but like it's probably one of those, you know, sort of metal frame chairs with like the plastic on
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Sort of pop the plastic back up a little bit so you can kind of slip it out more easily.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So yeah, and I think he, you know, he obviously sort of questions you. You tell him what you tell him, and
I have no reason not to be forthcoming about what I understand the situation to be.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and like I'm just gonna lay it right out here. Here's what I'm pretty sure we've got on you. And you know, here's what my friends are working to uncover. Plus there's the, you know, plus there's the assault charges. Oh, kidnapping. That's serious. That's federal time.
And I think kind of that's the point where he leans in and says, "Look, you back off now. You take your friends out of here. We let this slide. You leave us alone, we leave you alone. Yeah?"
What happens if I don't? Please be very specific.
I'm sure you can use your imagination.
No, I don't know. I mean, if you're just going to slash tires, those can be replaced. Specifically, what do you intend to do? I mean, this is a very important decision point for me here, and I need to know I'm doing it for the right reasons.
Text Adora, record this.
You
I'm already doing it.
if you you disappear out in these woods. Well, you said you know the area, but body could go years out there without being discovered.
So you'll kill me if I don't leave, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Okay. Well, thank you. That will help me in making my decision. I think I've decided. And that's when I'm like, you know, up, like just boom, up off the chair and like right on top of him.
Sure thing. Yeah, you are absolutely initiating this one. He is incredibly surprised. So yeah, you can, if you'd like to roll first to set the difficulty with whatever dice roll you think appropriate.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this feels like strength plus hitter.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, this is what I'm, you know, coming up out of the chair, and this is just like on top of him, and you know that thing where like, I'm coming right at him, and what I want to do is like punch him, you know, start by punching him in the throat, so that he can't holler for any of his goons, right?
Sure thing.
So we'll see how that goes. So that's straight up 2d10. Oh, that 16 is looking pretty good.
Yeah, he is going to struggle to manage that. He does not, and in fact, you beat him by 5. So yeah, you are absolutely. You just take him down. He goes down onto the floor, sort of gasping. You know, he can't get more than the croak out as he drops to the floor.
And I say, "Did you get that?"
Yep. Be glad I didn't record you losing earlier.
Be glad that you didn't. So I would have preferred that my clever ruse to allow myself to be captured so that I could see what their plans were no one's going to believe me because you didn't record it. So thanks for that.
You're welcome. And I think while this exchange was happening, or the previous exchange, I would have looked at Alexander and should I that look of should I put this on speaker for our legal friend to hear kind of thing.
I kind of look over and just shake my head.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't need this yet. I don't think. Plus, you know, you never know.
And I immediately make copies of everything just in case, and have it praying it backs up to the cloud.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, I think Lenny, we'll cut back to you again briefly if you want to. I think yeah. So you obviously you can get out of this tall cupboard that you're in. Do you want to have a look around inside the inside the paper mill, I should say?
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I'm gonna, I tie him back to the chair, and I do my signature move, which is I take his shoes off, and hide the shoes somewhere, put them on top of a cabinet, and then take his socks, and those go in his mouth to keep him quiet, which is a thing we've seen me do in other episodes when I tie somebody up, right? And I grab his hard hat, chink, and I clip his ID badge to my, whatever, to my smock that I'd pull on, whatever, my overcoat.
Yeah.
And I put on some tinted safety goggles, right, that they all wear, and then, so if I come across any doors that I, need to swipe, I've got his card key, whatever it is. Oh, and I'll take it. Speaking of, and I'll take his car keys too.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
And then I'll go on a little tour of the factory.
Yeah.
Sorry, the sawmill. Yeah.
Yeah. So you head out.
And the shoe thing is why we call him the Converse Kid.
And you head out onto sort of the factory floor. Is that just other side of the corridor to this store cupboard that you're in? Mm-hmm. And you can immediately tell there is no one working in here. It's the machines are dead. They've even it's a paper mill. A certain amount of dust is a thing, but this is the whole place has that look of not being used in a while. I mean, some of these big industrial machines, things like the big pulp vats and all that sort of thing, are they're clean. This has been shut down. This is not
Sure.
This is not just we've the shift has ended and we've turned the machines off. This is practically mothballed.
Yeah, stuff is covered in tarps and whatever and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I'm sure of some of that kind of thing going on, and
Yeah. And there doesn't particularly seem to be anyone around in this area as well. As you're heading around, what you do hear, there is some that's clearly, but you hear a lot of air conditioning going on, and up in one of the where the offices and stuff would normally be. It's basically a fairly. We're not talking an Amazon facility or anything, but this is a fairly significant server farm in here. It's yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Adora?
I'll start talking to Fiona, and allowing Adora to step away.
Dora, they got a lot of boxes in here. Big servers. There's the air conditioner is cranking. I this looks like they're, I don't know, it looks like the kind of thing that should provide plenty of internet.
What is your weapon of choice when you have to use a weapon?
Sorry, are you asking me as a player or is
yeah,
that like Adora? Okay, out of character. Out of character, it's like no kidding, like improvised stuff. Like I use what's on the premises.
Okay.
I don't carry it. Like if we have to go, like if I've got to go armed, I would have, like a 45 or something. But I don't have any guns or anything with me right now. So.
Okay, no, because I was gonna add to the keychain thing. I think like I don't think you've noticed on your you noticed obviously the soccer ball thing.
Sure.
Thing, yeah. But on there is a is like a mop and bucket symbol.
Okay.
And I say, and I'm like, do you still got your keys?
You could have also, like, the other thing you could do, you could have put anything on my phone and I would have no fucking idea, like, what it is or how it got there or whatever.
Right. But this is for the time where I'm like, because I'm a little, even though you're now in a place where there's a lot of internet, I'm still sketchy about me receiving it from where I'm at. All right. So I'm like, so that silly janitor thing on your keychain?
Yeah.
Pull the bucket out or pull the mop out, and it's a USB. Get whatever you can from these servers. It should hold about half the data.
Is it just going to automatically suck it into the? Because I don't see a keyboard here.
On this, and I'll be like ignoring whatever Alex and the other guys are talking about, because that's boring security FBI stuff, whatever. It's like no and I'll describe on the on the server base, each base should at least have an input and such.
Okay, it's a rack. There's 8 things on it, and this slot says whatever XYZ ABC. That one, yeah, okay. Putting it in now.
Count to 5 and then pull it out and then go to the next one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. There's 4 red dots on it, and there's 4 little diodes on it, and one of them is red. So I can probably fill 3 more, right?
Yeah.
Here we go. Boom, 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 and I fill it up with whatever data might be useful. Hopefully, who knows?
Hopefully, at least something, or at least we'll make them think we got something.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. We can we'll come back to that in a moment. Is there anything else that you particularly want to take a look at in while you're here, Lenny?
I am just is actually any of the is it actually a working sawmill at all?
So yeah, as from what you can see, the sawmill itself does seem to be working. It just seems to be this paper mill section that isn't. One thing you will notice though is in the stock room, in the warehouse bit of the paper mill, there does seem to be an awful lot of reams of paper up on pallets.
Well, are they reams of paper, or are they things that are labeled as reams of paper?
Certainly, they're labeled as, and they look like reams of paper from a quick glance. But if you want to investigate further, you certainly can.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to investigate further.
Yeah, sure thing. So I think as you head up, open up a pallet, cut through all the plastic wrap around it.
Yeah, we see me wheeling one of those, step ladders on wheels over, chink, 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 climb up.
Yeah.
Got my pocket knife.
And
Or
again,
find a utility
as
knife
you
somewhere.
move the palette around and stuff, it definitely, the way it seems, it doesn't seem like unusually heavy or anything like that. But yeah, when you cut open the packaging, look at it, I mean, it is paper in there, but it's money. It's a whole lot of cash wrapped up in these like paper ream packages.
Okay. Oh, and this is clever because it would weigh about the same. Wow. So hey, what do you think of this? I say, and take a picture of it and send that to Adora.
So I want to see if it's real paper or if it's almost cleverly made fake money.
It definitely looks like real money. It's and to the feel of it, yeah, it's possible. It's a very good fake, but
this would be a perfect opportunity for one of my fellow players.
I've been trying to think of a way, yeah.
to ask me about when I used to be in the Secret Service, who are in charge of counterfeiting in the United States.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's what they do. I don't know what the Secret
Well,
Service does.
they do two things. They protect, like, one of their remits is to essentially they protect the integrity of individuals and they protect the integrity of the currency, and that's their two jobs basically.
So I think the way like Adora would state it is like, oh, from like based on the picture, like, I don't know, this looks pretty sketch to me. And then you say something like reassuring, like, wait, how would you know? Like, not thinking you would know anything. Like, you just hit people.
Sure. So flashback, I think, to let me see. I think this has got to be a like I'm young. Like this is like my first case or something like that, right? And I am with a senior agent, like an older guy, like we've brought in some a square-jawed middle-aged character actor for this, right? To do like a one-time on the show. And I'm saying to him, a drug deal. He's like, yes, a drug deal. Why shouldn't DEA do a drug deal? He's like, trust me, kid, just, and we show up there and like he walks around the back of the car and he pops the lid and I'm like, holy shit, is that heroin? And he says, yeah, I just don't worry, we'll give it back. And cut to like drug deal and like he like slides the drugs over to the whatever, like the narcos there, and one of them like takes the does the thing where like pokes it with the knife and puts a little on the tip of the knife and like licks it and everything. And my senior partner like takes the suitcase full of money and pops it and he says, count that, kid. And I'm like, okay. And and like he hands it to me and he says, count that, kid. And that's like, you can see ding, like the light bulb goes on over my head and I pop it. And I take like the stack of 20s and I riff them and I'm like looking at them and everything. And I'm like, they're not even trying here. I mean, there's no strip. It's, I mean, the serial numbers are sequential. They haven't even, and, that's when like, phrase Secret Service, like a bunch of other agents come out from behind and stuff like this. And like, like the drug dealers all drop their guns and everything. But I'm just standing there marveling at like what a bad counterfeit job they've done as all this like craziness is going on around me.
Is that Alan Alda?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Why is
that's
he on the
awesome.
thing?
Yeah, that's perfect. Little counter programming gets to be a hard job Secret Service agent for 10
Oh,
minutes.
totally perfect fit for him.
Yeah. Awesome. So
Perfect.
So
we
what are
would
you guys
name
going to
it
call
then.
that?
You're the Neil Caffrey of. Let's see, what would be a good name for that? Counterfeit homes.
Maybe something about funny money or something like that.
Made from money or something like that.
Made with in quotes.
Cash connoisseur.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of
that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, no, as I say, I think with that, was you are able to guess. So this if this is counterfeit, it is it's such a good job that
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I know that it looks a little off, but that's because bills that come out of the Denver Mint have a slightly different tint to the yellow that they use in the color mix than the ones that come out of the whatever the Baltimore Mint or something like that. But no, this is the real deal, and there's a lot of it here.
Yeah, it is primarily small bills, but
Yep.
but given what you're talking, you're definitely difficult to eyeball it exactly, but you're definitely talking millions. This isn't.
Oh yeah.
This isn't loose change. It's yeah.
At this point, hearing this, I go, so what kind of money are we talking about? To Fiona. I go, we know that he's trying to buy up some local properties and some things like this, but are we missing the scope of this?
So we think that he's been involved in money laundering for organized crime in general. There's been a lot of money moving around, and we're not.
Amazing, because he has no connection whatsoever. I guess that makes him the perfect person to do it.
Exactly. It's been difficult to try and get anything on him. He's certainly doing a good job of covering his tracks if he is up to what we think he is. And that's why, I bent the rules a little. I wanted to see if I could find a way in at him.
So, what if we... I'm trying to put on my mastermind hat here.
Yeah.
What if we were to acquire some of his money, let him know that we were burning some of his money, so he would have to confront us out in the open, and at which point Fiona could arrest him. Because if we have his money, and then he comes and he asks for his money back, then he's actually admitting that it's his money.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So I will also give you, the other piece of the puzzle at this point, which I think we'll take a break in a moment, and then we'll come back. And I think when we come back, we'll probably just kind of have a bit more of a chat about exactly what you're going to do, and then just kind of move into that, like wrapping up the thing. But yeah, the other thing that you will, Adora, be able to find out from this information that you have been that you've got from the server farm. It's in a digital sense, it is a duplicate of the local bank, but this is running on on the super fast high tech cable, whilst the bank itself is running on copper cabling. They're essentially pulling almost like a wire game with the banking details, so they can kind of run their own banking detail. When they do the sort of sync ups at the end of the day, stuff gets kind of erased out as digital error sort of thing. And it's kind of covering up the trail. So that's sort of the what's going on from that side of things. The cash that he has is presumably is obviously the money that he has been given to clean. This is so this does play very much into the what Phil just mentioned, which is the fact that essentially at the moment the vast majority of his personal assets are essentially tied up in that cash, as all the sort of as all the kind of paper money. I shouldn't say paper money. As all the digital money, I should say, is kind of up in the air.
Well, I can do something about that digital money.
So awesome. But yeah, as I said, we'll take another quick sort of about 5-minute break. We'll come back and we'll kind of get into your sort of final plan for taking them down, and we'll just do that in the I think we probably won't even use the mechanical way, because I don't think we need to do a roll at the end of it. We'll just do those kind of framing out the closing out flashbacks and stuff. But yeah, I'll see you all back in about 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Good.
So I think we will, as I said, we'll kind of. I think the broad strokes of this plan sound good. So I mean, if there's any details anyone wants to add to this plan, feel free to do so now. And then I think we'll just kind of go around and have a couple of quick montage scenes of this plan going into progress. And I think, like I said, because it's our final session, we'll just have we won't go into any mechanics with this, because I think it's just at this point we just see how it sort of plays out and how we bring down John McLellan. Cool. I will throw things over to you. So do you? I'll check him first. Adora, is there anything else that you want to sort of bring to this plan before sort of it's executed?
Yeah. So specifically, with the digital money, is he's gonna make it have this weird paper trail for him to find, in which it all went into this toy / online kid. It basically the successor to Neopets, which is Webkins. And so make it seem like, oh, just bought Webkins money. So it's like Disney dollars. It's technically useless, except specifically for online digital crap. For Webkins is specifically
Roblox.
Yeah, like Roblox. But
it's a good investment.
Yeah, but Webkins is more for even younger kids and everything. So it's even a little bit more so it makes it seem like all of his money went that way.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
And of course, she'll supplement anything else that the others need.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Yeah. And Lenny, anything else you want to add to this plan before you begin executing it?
I don't think so. No, I mean, other than this, like we get a chance to see Lenny using a pallet jack,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, and stuff like that, you know. But that's, I mean, that's like the actual execution of it. I think we can, you know, include in the whatever our narrative work and stuff here. I don't think there's anything in particular else to do around here.
Yeah, sure thing. So yeah, I think we'll just I think what I think what I'll go around and get from each of you just like a kind of a quick montage of the of what you're doing to prepare for this plan. We'll kind of cut to the we'll then you know, sort of cut to the denouement and then get some reaction shots at the end. I think that sounds good. So yeah. Does anyone want to take like the first stab at this?
Actually, one of the questions I have is,
oh yeah, go for it.
With Lowell out, who's got any grifter or mastermind? Just so we know what we got. Do we have anybody that's got any grifter?
I've got a D6.
Yeah, I have a D8 in Mastermind.
Okay, because I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the face, who's going to talk this out, because somebody's got to have a conversation with him, and I don't know if anybody's got more than like a D6 in that.
In terms of actual dice, it doesn't matter too much, but it's at this stage, like so I think we'll just kind of mostly role play it out. But yeah, so I mean, if anyone wants to do that, that's cool.
I think it's Lenny, because he's personally invested in this. This is his. You threatened my friends, and now listen very carefully. This is how we're going to take you down. And there's nothing you can do about it. This is not a grift. This is Lenny going, hey, here's exactly how you fuck this up. Step one, you came after my friends. You know, like actually, Lenny would probably say, here's how you fucked up. Step one, you came after my friends.
So
that's it. That's how you fucked up.
You know? Sometimes you don't need more steps.
Like, yeah, exactly. So yeah,
right?
Yeah. But yeah, I think Lenny will, you know, Lenny will put that call in, because he's not trying to be subtle or reel him in or anything like that. I mean, what we said was we want to antagonize him so that he, like, you know, rushes to the scene so that he can get busted.
Yep, sure thing.
Yep. So I think we should start a clam bake in there. We should just like start some money and just start burning it. You know, at this point.
Well, it's a paper mill. There's all kinds of stuff that we can set on fire to make them think that it's that their money is burning.
Yeah.
We would have to burn at least a couple of them, because doesn't the ink change?
Yeah, we'll be sprinkling some over the top.
Yeah.
Sure.
Actually, Lenny probably knows exactly the chemical composition to make it look like we're burning money.
Yeah, sure. True. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, that would be one of the few things that we definitely could do. We could make it look like we're burning a whole lot of money when we're not.
So do we want to did we want this to go down in the warehouse itself, or I thought you said we were going somewhere to do that?
I figure we should take it because this is his home court. You know, he can draw people here. If he's going to go someplace else, we want him to have, you know, if he brings people, he's limited in the number of people he can bring.
Yeah. So what we need is like a largish building in the middle of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
With like a single road that leads to it, surrounded by woods, that has something like some large, like maybe say boilers or something there that we could conceivably burn things in, and so it sounds like the sugar shack on the farm
Absolutely.
is the place to have this happen.
Sweet.
Yes. oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah.
And so like I think we see, Lenny like walks right into the main, onto the, first kind of bit of the flashback is Lenny walks right into the main floor of the paper mill where everything's going on, sees a guy pulling an empty pallet jack, says, "Hey, you done with that?" "Sure, no problem, pal." Grabs it, wheels it back through the doors into the empty section, pallet full of money, loads it into the back of that dude's truck, drops it there. The shocks go down, like you said, because now it's got a big pallet full of money on it. Hop down, walk around, fire it up, drive right through the front doors of the, I've got the tinted windows rolled up. So I drive right through the gate, right out of there without anybody being any the wiser. Someone says, "See ya, boss," to me, as I pull out, and I drive off to the farm.
Yeah. We probably get that brief shot in McLellan's office where he's sort of calling out to one of his men. Where the hell's O'Rourke? He was supposed to be back from his job by now, and there's like a brief, his assistant does a brief call and says, "Oh, Mr. Rourke just left, sir. He was driving a load of paper. I don't know where to." And we see that like, look of what the hell on McLellan's face, as he put, or well, doesn't put two and two together exactly, but thinks something else is happening than what is. Sasha, Adora, do either of you want to go next?
I guess I'll go next. Once Lenny gets there, I've probably taken off a little bit ahead of time, knowing exactly where he's going to go. Already had the conversation with Fiona. She's off getting her stuff ready, getting her video camera stuff. And by the time Lenny pulls in, I've got the big sugar boiling vat down. I've got like a big blowtorch. I've got goggles on, and I was like ready to burn the money. So I think that's where I'm at that point.
Yeah, I think after like it's been like just a couple of days and everything, I am where is it? I'm blending in, like I'm gonna use like the I just work here move, kind of like you can't even tell it's me because I look like an actual paper mill worker now, like all all dressed up, and I'm in the background in case what's his face wants to call out to hey, to an assistant or whatever, to have them do something for him, and I'll be that one to do it. So I'm there more for backup because I've already set up the the digital stuff, so it's just for him, waiting for his phone to ping at the right exact moment for him to be notified, congratulations on being gold star webkin. And so yeah.
Adora, you're really fitting in here. You've got you've got the look. Looks like you got an ex-wife and a second mortgage.
Only one of those are true.
Excellent. And so I think I think we sort of see the scene of a couple of pickups sort of driving up to the sugar shack, and McLellan gets out with a couple of a somewhat battered looking I suppose not that battered, but a slightly battered looking O'Rourke, and a couple of his goons, and possibly a slightly less burly looking goon hanging out in the back, as they arrive, and McLellan will call out, "What the hell is the meaning of this? What are you doing? What's going on?"
I mean, is that to me or
yeah, to you and to Sasha, I guess, is if you're both sort of there at the money.
Oh, I thought I made it pretty clear that you know what I say? Oh, did you not talk to Rourke about this?
Yeah, got it, boss. And I take up some money and I start to torch it and I start to throw it in the thing, like I took a cue to start burning stuff when I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Rourke says, "This is nothing to do with me, Mr. McLellan. I don't know what's going on here." And McLellan says, "If you know what's good for you, you'll give me back my damn money right now."
This is your money.
Of course it's my goddamn money. You took it from my factory. What
So
did you
Rourke-
think it was?
Rourke said he was going to leave my body in the woods. Did he do that on his own? Did you go off reservation on this, buddy? I say, pointing at Rourke.
If Rourke doesn't step up his game, his body will be joining you there. Just now, hand over my goddamn money and I'll let you get out of this town alive.
And I say, Special Agent?
Did you get what you needed?
I mean, I can replay it, and I say that in the comms mainly, like somewhere I'm still like behind him.
Yeah, and I think that's the point where we get the agent. I have completely forgotten what I gave her as her name. It was Agent Blake.
Where she was behind one of the big thick maples.
Exactly. Yeah, comes out with the sort of with the FBI jacket on, and Mr. McLellan, you're under arrest for money laundering, bank fraud. Lists off several other applicable charges.
Kidnapping.
Kidnapping.
Yep. Yeah, I love that we both chime in with that. That's like, don't forget kidnapping.
And yeah, we kind of get to that shot of like him being put in cuffs, and as him and O'Rourke shout at each other, and so on and so forth. And yeah, if you, again, I'll just go back to you all, and I'll probably just do this one in character keeper order. So Adora, what's kind of the final shot that we get of you as this as the mark is taken down?
She is immediately slipping from looking like a total like paper mill worker to looking like a typical tourist, but she has like pocketed some of the actual money, and is like pocketed the actual money while the rest of her pockets are overflowing with maple candy and like maple samples. And it's like, oh God, I can't wait to get out of here. And it's just like, yeah, like happy to help, but happy to be done.
Nice. And Lenny, what's sort of the last shot we get of you? This is resolved.
Actually, this is Lenny's thing. Why don't I go and let?
Oh,
let
yeah, sure, cool. Yeah, I like that.
With Fiona Blake, I kind of walk over, and we're in the sawmill, and there's all cut up trees and stuff. I said, "I'm glad you came along, Agent." I put my hand down. I go, "We were stumped."
and she definitely gives you a look at that, but also smiles. And Lenny.
Yeah, I think that like they are putting them into the cars and everything, and it's all, and down at the house, you know what? And I think this is like, as I am walking back down the road, kind of, as they are kind of, driving down past with, the bad guys in the, in the vehicles and stuff like that and everything. And I kind of walk up to the, and I walk up to the door to the actual farmhouse that we saw there before. NPCs. Yeah, and Clive and Claire are there, and Clive is looking worried. Claire is looking kind of smug. And as I come walking up to the two of them, like she says to him, I told you calling him was the right thing to do. And Clive's like, yeah, okay, you're right, and everything. And I come walking up to them, and I say, well, that's all dealt with. You should be safe. He is going to jail for a long time. And anybody that was working for him is going to be is in a heap of trouble too. So I don't think you've got anything to worry about. And she says, you could, we could use some help. You could stay if you'd like. And I say, I know I could, but this kind of stuff has a way of finding me eventually. And I couldn't live with myself if I brought out any of it here. But I'm glad I came back. And, and then I turn and walk back to the car. And as I'm getting, I'm getting in the car and pulling away, and, he goes in the house, she stands there on the porch, and it's that thing where I'm pulling out and I can see her in the rearview mirror, and I get to the edge and I just like put it in park, and I sit there for, like maybe like a 5 count, just looking at her in the mirror. And then I sigh and I drop my head and I put it in drive and I pull out.
Nice. I like it.
I'll lean forward and I go, now I need help with a friend of mine. When is the last time you guys have been to Prague?
Do they have maple syrup?
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to stop our recording there, but thanks so much. This has been great fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it all. And if you have been watching, thank you very much.